Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Ryujinx, and Ryujinx just got a brand new update. So as of version 1.1.1398, it fixes rendering in Fuse 4 when using Vulkan. In 1399, it fixes half-screen rendering on AMD GPUs in The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And in version 1.1.1400, it allows the usage of mods that make games run at higher resolutions than 4K, such as the 8K option in the UltraCam mod for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. They say these mods require expanded DRAM to 8GB to be enabled, and it fixes crashes and low performance in certain games when using high-resolution mods. To be honest with you, I am very curious to see what 8K would look like using UltraCam in Tears of the Kingdom. I'm assuming there will be some videos posted on YouTube at some point in time, and I'm assuming they'll probably be taken down at some point in time as well. Moving on, and we're switching from Nintendo Switch to Windows emulation on Android and talking about not Win Now, but Win Later. And Winlator just got a brand new update to version 8.0. Now, this is the first big update to Winlator since June, and there are a lot of things in here. For example, they've improved the UI, they've added File Manager to Container, they've added a screen effect, for example, color adjustment FXAA and CRT shader. They fixed container startup on Android 14. They've added the option to select preferred input API, direct input or X input. They've added an option to disable mouse input. This is a big one. They've added an option to move cursor to touch point, and I think a lot of people will like that one. They've improved input controls, they've improved ALSA audio driver, they've improved direct input, they've improved drives on containers, and they've improved a whole lot more. They've updated Mesa Turnip to version 24.2.0, they've updated Box 64, and they've added some workarounds for some games. For example, Starbound, Medal of Honor, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Final Fantasy XIII, and even more. And there's also performance improvements and other fixes. And additionally here, Reddit Emulation on Android has started a PC game compatibility tracking sheet, and it may be useful if you plan on emulating Windows games on Android. Like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. My news is 100% open source. I don't hide any of my sources. Next up, we're talking about PlayStation 3 emulation on Android with AndStation 3. Now, I would say that AndStation 3 is a very ambitious project, and I will say that I don't really have a whole lot of hopes for it. I'll also say that this one has been a little bit controversial with some controversial statements made by the developer over time here. But at the same time, I'm not going to get into that stuff, and we'll just take a look at this post here on Reddit. And it says RPCS3 has been compiled to Arch64. So from my understanding, the initial implementation of AndStation 3 was basically just the PC version of RPCS3 wrapped up in a PC emulator, something like FEX or Box 64 or something like that. So it's basically just an emulator within an emulator, and performance obviously is not that ideal. And this, I think they're trying to get RPCS3 to run on ARM devices, but we'll have to wait and see on this one. This is a very ambitious project, and I don't want to say it's not going to happen, but I do have my doubts because, well, RPCS3 hasn't done it yet. Next up, if you're a fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show and also retro video games, you may be a fan of this new game coming out. This one is called the Rocky Horror Show video game. There's an official trailer for it now on YouTube, and it's hitting Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and also PC via Steam. And the game itself doesn't look too bad at all. It actually looks pretty interesting. And there may be some names with the development team that you may recognize. And the release date for this one is pretty soon, in October of this year, so next month. Next up, this is pretty big news for digital gaming and people who purchase digital games. Here's the headline: California's new law forces digital stores to admit you're just licensing content, not buying it. Digital storefronts won't be able to use words like buy or purchase unless they make the disclosure. The law is posted online as AB 2426 Consumer Protection, False Advertising Digital Goods. So it says here that this is to combat disappearing purchases of digital games, movies, music, and ebooks. The legislation will force digital storefronts to tell customers they're just getting a license to use the digital media rather than suggesting they actually own it. Now, from my understanding, this goes into effect in 2025, and they say here the new law won't apply to stores that offer permanent offline downloads and comes as a direct response to companies like PlayStation and Ubisoft. And I would say this is a win for the Stop Killing Games initiative. Now, it's worth pointing out that this new law is not going to stop companies from making games unplayable as soon as they decide to stop supporting them. It'll just make them more transparent up front that, you know what, you're getting a license and you're not actually buying the game. So if they do revoke the license, well, that's within their rights because they told ya. So yes, I would say the Stop Killing Games initiative has made some very positive impacts in the gaming world. However, it still has a long ways to go and it still needs a lot of support. I do recommend checking out the Stop Killing Game page. Again, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below. They're working on companies Stop Killing Games. Next up is just a friendly heads up or a quick heads up that the 2024 Japan Game Awards just happened, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom took home the grand award. VGC has an article with every single award winner in it, and I do recommend checking that one out. I am not surprised Tears of the Kingdom won the grand award. I think it's a good game. Next up is a little bit of a controversy surrounding PlayStation and game pricing. And apparently here it's being reported that PlayStation quietly raised the Horizon Zero Dawn PS4 price following the remastered announcement. So it's being reported that the price of Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition was £16 and it got raised to £35 following the announcement. That is basically that's over double the price. Furthermore, if I take a look at the US prices over on psprices.com for Horizon Zero Dawn, I can see that it was priced at $20 USD on April 12th and then got hiked up to $39.99, so $40 USD on September 25th. That is a long time being listed at $19.99 and then being hiked up to $39.99. That is a massive price increase because of this whole remaster. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if you've got PS Plus, you probably already have this game in your library because I think it was offered for free via PS Plus a while back. Anyways, if you don't and you haven't picked the game up, you may have missed the boat on this one. I mean, now it's significantly more expensive than it was before, and it's probably just to bring the price closer to the remastered version for that small upgrade fee. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Do you agree with what Sony did here? Do you think it's a little bit scummy? And on a quick side note here, pro tip, if you are in the market for this game, you may want to check out something like a GameStop for a physical copy of it, and possibly even a used copy, because it's considerably cheaper buying this one physical now than it is digital, and I've got no idea when these prices are going to go up, so be quick and pay attention. But moving on, and next up, we're moving back down to California for another new law that benefits consumers. And this one here is a law that requires a one-click subscription cancellation, which I think is going to be amazing and way less of a headache to hop out of a subscription deal. So the law is AB 2863, and it requires companies that offer automatic subscription renewals through one-click purchases to also offer customers a way to cancel their subscriptions through the same one-click method. I think that's going to be a big win for a lot of people. Now, this law goes into effect on January 1st, 2025, and let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Do you think it's going to benefit the consumer? Do you think it's going to actually make things easier for people to unsubscribe from paid services? But please don't get political. This is not a political channel, and I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what anyone's politics are. It's just I'm not that kind of person. I don't always agree with stuff that comes out of California, but I can get behind this one. But moving on, and next up, we're shifting from California to Colorado, where System 76 is located. And we're talking about a brand new Cosmic Alpha release, Alpha 2. For those who may not be aware, Cosmic is a desktop environment for Linux. It's written in Rust. It's available most notably here for Pop! OS, but you can get it on different distributions. And they have just released their Alpha 2 here, and they say in the second alpha version of Cosmic Epic 1, it is incomplete. You'll most certainly find bugs. Testing and bug reports are welcome and appreciated. New feature requests will be considered for Epic 2, Cosmic's second release. So with Cosmic Alpha 2, there's been a whole bunch of improvements here, including the highly requested window management features and considerable infrastructure work for screen reader support, as well as some notable bug fixes. And they've also added Bluetooth settings now in the settings and power menu to make things a lot easier. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm a big fan of System 76 and what they're doing here. I'm a big fan of Pop! OS, and I'm also a big fan of Cosmic. I'm enjoying my experience with it so far. Next up, if you're a fan of Hollow Knight and you're looking forward towards Silksong but are a little bit frustrated that it's taking so long to release and need that itch scratched, well, this game here may scratch that itch for you. It's called Voidwrought, and they just revealed the release date. It's releasing on October 24th for PC and also Nintendo Switch. And to me, this gives me a whole lot of Hollow Knight vibes. Unfortunately, I don't know the price of this game just yet, but there is a demo available on Steam, and I'm probably going to be checking this one out. Let me know your thoughts about this one. But moving on, and we're shifting from software to hardware here and talking about the Google Pixel Buds Pro 2. Now, reviews for these buds are coming out, and a lot of people are really enjoying them. They are saying the price for them is a little bit high. Now, I've got the Pixel Buds Pro 2, and I have returned them. And I will say here, although the sound was pretty good, I didn't like the overall fit. So if you are in the market for Pixel Buds Pro 2, I do recommend checking out reviews because they will set you back quite a bit of money here, and 9to5 Google has a very good review on them. You'll get a sense of what they offer and what they don't. In terms of audio quality, I found them to be pretty good when the earbud was fitting properly in my ear. I tried different ear tips. I tried twisting it in different angles here, and nothing was working. I have the A series and they fit absolutely fine, and the Pixel Buds Pro 2 just didn't. It was very frustrating because they're very nice earbuds when they were working, but they weren't fitting consistently well in my ears, and I didn't trust just walking without one falling out. It's unfortunate for earbuds that are marketed as premium, and I wish they had more adjustment features. Now, if I'm not mistaken, in the US right now, the A-series buds are going for $64, which I think is a steal of a deal for earbuds like this. I mean, I've had my A-series buds for a few years now. They've held up well. They're continuing to hold up well. And I'm continuing to prefer them over the Pro series of buds. I mean, they're light, they fit well, and, well, they sound pretty good too. They might not have as many features, but at the same time, at $64, I think that's a steal of a deal. And on a quick side note here, if you are considering these for gaming, there is some latency, and you can't get away from that because they are Bluetooth. And I also noticed basically the same latency with the Pro series as well. So if latency is one of your concerns here, especially for gaming, you may want to avoid Bluetooth headsets altogether, but let me know your thoughts about that. And speaking about good priced hardware, next up here we're talking about REDMAGIC, and REDMAGIC has just unveiled the REDMAGIC Nova gaming tablet. It's starting at $499 here, and it contains a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I'm not joking with you, this is a powerhouse. So the resolution on this tablet is 2880 by 1800 and its refresh rate is 144 Hz. And if I take a look here, it's also got a fan that runs up to 20,000 RPM. Now they're claiming an 18.7 hour battery life, which I don't necessarily know is going to be true if you're really pushing this thing to its limits. But it does contain a 10,100 milliamp hour battery, and the charging on this one goes up to 80 watts. Now, I haven't tested out this one yet, and I haven't seen any reviews, so obviously I can't say whether or not I'd recommend it. But I will say if you're looking for the most performance for the least amount of money, this may be something worth considering, especially considering it's got a fan, which will help keep the chip cool and prevent thermal throttling. I am very curious about this one. ETA Prime a few years back sent me a REDMAGIC 6R phone, and I'm pretty happy with that one. That contained a Snapdragon 888, and, well, it performed well. I was very impressed for that phone overall. I'm not going to say I'm a big fan of REDMAGIC and it's the best phone out there, but for reasonably priced phones with good performance, well, they are pretty good. And speaking about Android stuff, next up here we're talking about a brand new game that's just about to hit the Android store. And that is, or Google Play Store, and that is Blasphemous. So if you don't know about Blasphemous, it's a very popular game on Steam right now. It's been out for a long time. Blasphemous 2 is already out, and that's been out for a while too, and it's also popular. Anyways, it will be hitting Android, and I'm assuming that this one is going to be popular too. So they say here for the key features, it's going to have the same PC console experience now on your device. All DLCs included from day one. That's huge. And play with gamepad or touchscreen. So unlike the Naruto port over on Android, you can use a gamepad with this one. Unfortunately, I don't know the price for this one just yet. I don't think it's going to be one of those free-to-play titles with microtransactions because that's not Blasphemous' style. I could be wrong though. But let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. This is one I will be checking out. I mean, I was a big fan of Dead Cells on mobile. I think that was an amazing port. And this, I think, is also going to be pretty awesome. For those who may be unaware, Blasphemous was released back in 2019 on PC. It's got a very positive review score with over 30,000 reviews. I am a fan of this game, especially when I picked it up on sale for almost next to nothing. Anyways, if you played this game, let me know your thoughts about it, and let me know your thoughts about it heading over to Android. Do you think it fits on the mobile platform? I really think it does. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.